In this week's Candid Cap video, we're going to talk about marriage after divorce. This is relevant because Aaron was married before we met, and he is my first spouse, so I was not married. So we were in this kind of, I don't even think it's unique, but I think it's a kind of a difficult place where Aaron was actively looking for a spouse. We met on eHarmony, so he wasn't just looking for a companion. He was actively looking to get married, and I was not looking to marry someone who'd been divorced before. My parents have been divorced, and kind of my perspective on divorce, now this is just me, my perspective on divorce is that it's two people who have issues, and sometimes those issues are so awful that I would say it's scary to marry a person who's been divorced because, gosh, I just think that I just think it's scary. From my perspective, after watching my parents struggle, I would not have wanted to marry a person who went through the struggles that I saw as a kid. So when I met Aaron, it was an uphill battle for him to convince me that your first time marriage should be with a person who has been divorced. What are your thoughts?
Well, I have several thoughts on marriage as a whole. I think first and foremost, I have to kind of define what marriage means to me. I believe marriage is a contract that you're signing under God. I say under God because I'm God-fearing, and I believe it's a religious contract, and I believe it's almost like an agreement for the establishment of a foundation of a family, and that it starts with a man and wife. Again, that doesn't mean that I don't believe that other people of different persuasions could get their own contracts going for family. I just believe that traditionally this is how I see it, and this is how this is what I gave basically credence. So essentially,
This is actually relevant, so yes.
Yes. So first off, I have been married before, and I am also divorced before I met my new wife, Esther.
And we are happily married. We definitely want to put out there that after a
8 years so far.
Yes, after a first marriage, now how long were you married in your first marriage?
3.5 years.
Okay, so 3.5 years in his first marriage, not great. 8 years in his second marriage, awesome. And we really hope to make it till death together.
Yep. First marriage was 3.5 years long, and 2 of it were together, and then about 1.5 years of separation
Due to the military.
No, not to the military. Due to that's when she left me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so they hadn't officially divorced. So you were actually
Right.
like a married couple for. Oh, okay.
We were a married couple living in different states, and then I had to get the paperwork going and get her to sign it, and the rest is history.
Okay, right. Sorry. So really 2 years of matrimony in the traditional sense. Yes.
Yeah. So we were acting married couple for about 2 years. And I say about because I'm sure that it was months here and there, and I didn't actually do the calculation. It doesn't matter.
Well, so after you guys got divorced, and may I say, his ex-wife turned out to. You want to mention that? No.
It's not. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
What my ex-wife does after we get divorced doesn't matter.
Okay. His ex-wife. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, when Aaron was trying to present himself to me as a candidate for marriage, how did you feel like, what did you think was like the best way to handle the fact that you had been divorced? Can you pull over just for a second and we'll finish this and then we'll pick up the kids. We got a minute.
Well, first things first, I do believe it's important to be honest and forthcoming about it. If I didn't tell her ever, or even tell her late in the relationship, I think it would feel like an act of betrayal, or that I hit something. And I don't think hiding something that important has any use either, you know?
Yeah, so I did know. I don't even know what it is. I guess you were just super charming, because I really was terrified of marrying someone who'd been divorced. I feel like the assumption is that you then have to explain either if you were at fault in the divorce, or you just married the wrong person, or the person that you were with 100% just screwed you over, and then you have to try and sell that to another person. And I feel like you were kind of coming from the standpoint of, if I'm wrong, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you were coming from the standpoint of you were basically 100% screwed over. And I believed it. I really believed it when he said that especially because, and I do want to say, can I say, will you give me authority to say what the deal is?
Yeah, but if it's not pertinent,
But I think it's pertinent because if you meet a man who is a really sweet, sensitive, loving guy like you, I mean, right away, he was so sweet and sensitive and caring. When he told me that his ex-wife determined that she was a lesbian, I kind of felt like, what are you supposed to do with that? Like, so I really do feel like I gave you a little bit of a free pass because I couldn't say how I would deal with that. I feel like, oh, what are you supposed to do with that? If you're with a person and you're really sweet and wonderful, but they just decide that, yeah. So I really felt like that was an acceptable reason to be left. I mean,
yeah, but I think that's still like, it could have been any reason,
Okay, you still feel like you're divorced, you accept the divorced category, and you don't see yourself as a victim. Is that like how you...
Well, no, definitely not. I actually felt very, very victimized, as you would put it, for someone breaking up the other half of a contract. But basically, after going to church, there happened to be a sermon about marriage, and about how a spouse can leave you and it's not your fault. If you're trying to uphold your side of things and the spouse leaves, you're relinquished of that contract, and the guilt's not on you, basically. And that's essentially what I took from the sermon. I don't remember the actual verses or any of that stuff, but for most part, that's what I gathered from it, and it kind of made me feel a lot better about it. And I kind of worked my way back into the dating world at that point in time.
And actually, Aaron had been on eHarmony for how long before you met me?
Several years.
Wow, yeah. Well, you had a couple of relationships too. So,
yeah.
But yeah, basically, he had been actively looking for a spouse and investing himself well before he even met me. So, I guess I would say our thoughts on getting out into the dating world and trying to find another partner that will be a lifelong partner after you have had a terrible experience and you've gone through divorce. It's totally possible. It's totally possible. Do not give up hope. Do not give up hope. If you are getting out of a marriage and you are devastated, if you can approach new people with hope, I really think that you can actually have an incredible experience a second time. And I would say that if you are a person, especially if you are raised in a faith that is a very strict faith, and you kind of have a feeling about divorce that makes you feel like it's just not a good idea to invest any amount of time with a person who has been divorced, open up your mind to the thought that possibly there are great people out there who either were just mismatched the first time, or may have married a person who didn't appreciate their talents, or even a person who made mistakes and they have changed. I just really think that it's important to give people a second chance, and that includes yourself. So if you've been through a divorce, I think it's important to have faith that there are other amazing people and that God can bring an incredible partner into your life. And if you're looking for a spouse for the first time, do not necessarily take everybody off the table who's ever been divorced, because you might have an amazing life with a partner who happens to have not found you first. So yay. I'm really glad that you found me. I'm glad Aaron found me. I'm glad we found each other. I'm hopeful that we will be able to have a long marriage. We hope that you guys will end up with a great person that you can live life with as well. And we will see you guys again back here next week. Bye.
Bye.
You.